Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to the worst reviews ever. Got the Manic Genius in here. Amazing. Casey, Fred, and CLS. So before we jump into the review, man, how's everybody doing?
Hey.
Doing pretty good. Can't complain.
Everybody still getting all that snow and stuff?
Yeah. But we winning though.
Man, cut it out, Fred. I was about to call out sick. I told you. So I ain't had to face you, man.
Didn't Dallas just lose?
Yeah, Dallas and
Yeah.
Well, we're
Eagles,
not
but
going to
the,
talk about that.
Eagles
the Chiefs.
Eagles lost.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh lost.
Oh, I forgot. Manic is a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, they lost. I was just talking to Taj about that. He thought
How's your pops doing? Manic, how's your pops taking it?
Hey, we're all doing pretty good. I mean, we finished out the season strong.
All right, well, I see Amazing got the blazer on. Just came off work. I need half that rent though. Let's what's the delay? What's the delay? I know you got a job. But all right, we'll go ahead. Let me pull up these slides and stuff. So all right, Manic, can you read that today?
Yeah. So we got the movie review. It's called Leave the World Behind. Leave the World Behind is a 2023 American apocalyptic psychological thriller film written and directed by Sam Esmail. It is based on the 2020 novel by Rumain Alam. Amanda and her husband Clay rent a luxurious home for the weekend with their kids, Archie and Rose. Their vacation is soon upended when two strangers, GH and his daughter Ruth, arrive in the night, bearing news of a mysterious cyber attack, seeking refuge in the house that they claim is theirs. The two families reckon with a looming disaster that grows more terrifying by the minute, forcing everyone to come to terms with their places in a collapsing world.
All right. We'll go ahead and jump into the directors and producer section. I'll take this over. So directed by Sam Esmail, written by, or story by, this was the actual story that was written by Rumain Alam, produced by Julia Roberts, Marissa Gill, Lisa Gillen, Sam again, and Chad Hamilton. So all right, we'll go ahead and go to the cast section. So the cast for this movie: Julia Roberts as Amanda Sanford, Alicia Ali as G.H. Scott. I mean, his name harder. What is it again?
Myha'la Ali.
Myha'la Ali. Okay. Ethan Hawke as Clay Sanford. Myha'la as Ruth Scott. Farrah McKenzie as Rose Sanford. Charlie Evans as Archie Sanford. Got my man Kevin Bacon as Danny. And Vanessa as Salvador. So we'll go ahead and jump into the next section, the rating. All right, we'll start with CLS. What would you rate this movie?
I give it an 8.
Okay. So CLS gave this an 8 rating. He's right in between very good and excellent territory. The Manic Genius. What's your rating for this movie?
I give this one a 7.2.
All right, so Manic Genius is putting this in a very good territory. Amazing. What's your rating for this movie?
I was actually going to give it an 8 as well.
All right, so you got it in between very good and excellent too. Casey, Fred.
I was going to give it a 7.5.
Okay, so you're in a very good. And I'm going to give it a 6.8. So I'm in a good territory. So, all right, since I'm the outlier, who's the other one? I guess it's like Amazing and CLS, since they're both on the 8 territories, and I'm the other one with 6.8. So, Amazing, why'd you give this an 8?
I like this type of thriller just because, again, it's world life stuff that can happen. And the fact that it was more of a cyber attack and just had, just so much chaos going on. And then, again, these like real life stuff that can happen. And for a cyber attack, literally can just bring down absolutely everything. Just because we're so dependent on IT and technology. So I just really like that aspect.
You think this shit could really happen?
Yeah, I agree with her.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We had, this is kind of like sidebar, but we had at one of the hospitals I was at several years ago, somebody
God
was
bless your
building,
heart.
like, they were building something, and they were building like a new wing, and something happened with the construction people did not look at wherever their lines were or anything. Anyway, so the power was already shut down, but of course the hospital was running on the backup generators, and whatever the construction company hit took out our generators, and we're talking about a trauma 2 hospital in the city that went completely black for hours because we had no generator. It was chaotic, like people using their cell phones for light. You can't run anything, ventilators, IV pumps, elevators. They were trying to fly patients out, but they were literally having to hold patients down a stairwell of 5 flights of steps to get to the helipad. It was just the most crazy thing. Like the news stations were all over. People had broken bones trying to get out of the elevators. So it just goes to show you, and this happened just for a couple hours before they were able to get the sickest patients out and get something back for the generators. So to imagine, whole cities going out like that, it would be complete chaos. Anyways, that's why I just think it's something that I'm sure other countries literally think about all the time. Terrorist, I would assume. But anyhow.
So the part with the like deer staring at them in the forest, you think that's gonna happen?
It could.
Yeah, because I think it would disrupt everything. It would be a whole disruption of weather, environment, everything. Which is why the flamingo showed up in that one scene.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like Caesar Milan. Oh, sorry.
DLS is co-signing your nonsense. But I'm gonna let y'all live on this one.
Dude, I mean, you know who Caesar Milan is, though, right?
The
That
dog
dog
whisperer,
whisperer guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, remember you told that story about when it was I can't remember what natural disaster it was. It might have been a volcano or something. Yeah, all of the animals, they started leaving like a week prior before it happened. It was like the people were paying attention to the animals, they would know that something was wrong, something was off.
Wait. You're quoting Caesar Milan?
Yeah. Dude, it happened. What are you talking about? Like, all those people died. It happened for real. It was on the news.
Oh,
Yeah.
Caesar Milan. Did he get the information from a dog he was whispering to?
Nah, man. It was on the news, bro. It was on the news.
Oh. No,
but he just came out and said, like, hey.
All of the animals started
told
leaving.
me.
They started leaving. No, man. All of the animals started leaving. You see the animals moving. Like you saw the animals moving in that movie with the deer and the flamingos and all that. They were, they were flying away. They came to the house and got in the pool, but the deer were running away.
I'm just saying, like, how did Caesar Milan find that information? They talked to one of the animals. The animals said, hey, we started packing our shit up a week ago. And is that how he whispered to them? And then he
just studied animals, bro. Did you ever watch his reality show? He just studied animals. I mean, the same way you're an expert in your line of work. You're an expert,
I'm not
right?
expert,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Manic ain't an expert in nothing.
Well, I mean, he's an expert in
but
his field.
fuckery and misery.
Just instincts, just animal instincts, I guess.
Yeah, I think that happens a lot in water life, like fish and stuff like that. They'll say like the different changes in temperature, or before the algae grows, the fish will start to swim away far before it actually happens.
I mean, I'm about to drop some facts on y'all because I do know a little bit about animals, but birds migrate. I'm not sure if anybody knew that.
They do?
Yeah, when it gets a little colder.
Maniac.
Did Caesar tell you that?
Yeah, actually, a little birdie told me.
Yeah, they left. They left Virginia and came down here. I saw them flying.
They said they're flying south for the winter.
It's warm down here.
Yeah, no, I do understand like the bird patterns and stuff. Yeah, but the deer, that was a little far fetched when they just like staring them down like that. Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't know about all that.
And that's what threw Rosie off. She was like, they usually just hang out in large groups like that. Something's off.
Yeah, Rose was the one. She knew something was wrong in the situation.
Man,
that was the little girl, right?
Rose was the only one who had the most fucking sense, man. Ethan Hawke, what was it, Clay? He was getting on my fucking nerves the whole movie.
Yeah, he was kind of a sucker. That's why she was about to end up what they say, tasting the chocolate, Yeah,
right. Mahershala
Ali. But hey, let me get my man Wally in here. What's good, Wally?
That rope.
Going on, everybody. Sorry I'm late.
Oh no, you good, man. We all be jumping in at different times. So hey, real quick, let me get your what would you rate this movie as based on this rating scale, Wally?
Oh man, this was actually pretty solid. I give it like a 7.
Okay. So Wally's rating is in between good and very good. I gave it a 6.8. I think CLS and Amazing gave it a 8. And Fred, what was yours? A 7.5?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're all pretty close. So we're what we typically do, we're gonna break down our ratings. So Amazing just broke hers down. So we were giving her some mess about that. And CLS, since you got the other 8, why did you rate this an 8?
I mean, basically the same thing Amy said. I mean, like, this could happen in real life. And I guess the question is, if this does happen in real life, are you going to be prepared for it? I'm very much invested in those reality shows with the doomsday preppers, like Danny. Yeah, very much. If you think he's the crazy guy at the gas station or the crazy guy at the convenience store, nah, man, I'm telling you, man, he just kind of like you ever see that movie 2012 with what's his name? Yeah, can't remember his name. Yeah, that shit. I don't know. I mean, that one. I mean, it could happen, bro. Something can happen. You got what the question? The question is, are you going to be prepared for it when it does happen?
Or know who is prepared?
Yeah.
One or the
So
other.
do you guys got like a doomsday bunker? You got like oatmeal in the house, like you
No, I'm just
dried
saying.
fruits.
I mean, we're
Look,
good.
we're talking to a person that has a whole box of MREs after the last snowstorm.
I know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. We're prepared to some extent. At least we're prepared. I mean, we're ex-military, so we got some survival skills.
Okay, I got
you set up a tent. You know what I mean? You know, MREs and all that type of shit. But
So y'all pretty much y'all gave the 8. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, actually, one of our former neighbors in Kansas has a whole doomsday bunker. They have huge farmland with peacock, like weird animals, and a doomsday bunker. And our son has been there and visited it. He said it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Zuckerberg. Is his bunker? I saw his bunker.
No, I highly doubt it was like that.
All right, but let me go ahead. Let me get who was the next? All right, I was the other outlier, so I'll go ahead. I'll break down why I gave it a 6.8. I mean, I think it was a good movie. Yeah, I didn't think it was like too realistic. I mean, some of the stuff, like I said, the technology going out, definitely could understand that. But I thought it was like a little slow in some parts. Like towards the middle of the movie, it kind of slowed up a little bit. Then that end, I just didn't understand. So I was just like kind of lost with that. So maybe I just didn't understand some pieces. I was a little lost, but overall, like definitely a good movie. So that's why I kind of rated it, a 6.8. Because like I said, towards the end of the movie, I think it just like dropped off a little bit.
I agree with you, bro. I agree with you.
But all right, Manic, why did you give it your rating?
Yeah, I gave this one a 7.2 for a lot of the reasons that you mentioned. I felt like the plot was overall pretty good, but there were some dead spots in the storyline and unnecessary confusion. When GH came back to his house and, they met up. And I get it from the cinematic standpoint. You want to give just enough information for us to believe differently. Like, is he really a homeowner, or is he lying? Is this something else? Is this like, are these people targeted? So I got that part, what they were trying to do, like from a directorial standpoint. However, I just don't think that part at all was believable. Him coming back to his house and, not having any documentation, not really knowing anything to like really prove that it's his house. And hell, if it was my house, I would have been a lot more like, hey, this is my house. So this is what's going to happen. You get your money back and I'm going to allow you to stay here because this is my shit.
You mind? Can I chime into something you just said?
Yeah, go ahead.
But you do remember he said her first and last name when they opened the door. So how would he know her first and last name? And then Clay was like, "Wow, did you know each other? How do you know each other?"
Well, I mean, you can know that if it's like targeted. That's where I think the director was trying to allow us to like, go into that place too. Like, hey, does he know her? Is this really his house, or are they a targeted couple? Like, this is like all staged for them to have this nice Airbnb, and something more worse. Could happen.
But they were corresponding through email, though. He knew her emails, the conversations they were having through email. How would you know if he wasn't a homeowner?
Well, I'm just saying, if it was a setup, you could argue and you could play the movie out that this was all just an elaborate setup to get this specific couple because maybe her job, maybe his job, maybe their influence or something, maybe revenge. but that's how the director
Oh,
wanted
that's what
us
you're saying.
to like. They wanted
Yeah.
us to see 3 different lanes. Like, oh, it really is his house, or it's not his house, or they're a targeted couple. But I just think that part alone just wasn't executed that well, because it's just like it was just a weird vibe that was just like unnecessary, because everything turned out to be how it was, supposed to be. So that was a big part in the storyline. That in like and the ending was just like a close shut off, and nothing was ever really explained. I mean, it was touched, but it was just like it kind of left it too much to the viewer's imagination, and I don't really like that too much, because I feel like that's lazy from a director standpoint. I feel like the director, by the end of the movie, he should know how you're feeling, or at least have you thinking of a whole bunch of different things. But I just felt like it was lazy at the end.
What was she watching? Friends at the end?
Agreed.
Yeah.
The last episode of Friends. Because remember,
Oh, okay.
she was determined to see that last episode because everything went out. The blackout happened before she got a chance to see the finale.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So she was determined to watch that episode.
Yeah. No doubt.
The last one.
I think that part wrapped up pretty well, because she got what she wanted, but everything else being left to the unexplained.
Yeah. I didn't like that either.
It was just weak.
Yeah, I agree.
But all right, let me get Casey Fred. Why did you give it your rating?
Pretty simple. I gave it a 7.5 because I actually enjoy. You got some powerful actors and actresses that's in this movie, and I actually enjoyed the movie for the simple fact that every person, the adults as well as the kids, actually had to go through something, and you felt all these different emotions, and as they were going through it, you see the prejudices, you see the fear, you see the panic, you saw all these different raw emotions. I never forget, Julia Roberts, the mom Amanda, is like, there was a scene where there's a noise and she literally was like, okay, I can't hear, my head is banging, but where's my kids? And she literally left the house to go get them. And it just kind of showed all these different emotions and everything. I crack up about the part where Ethan Hawke, I think he's Clay in the movie, where all of a sudden he's like, I'm supposed to go out and see what's going on, but at the end of the day, I can't speak Spanish. I don't understand what this lady is saying. And I'm supposed to be a real nice guy, but you know what?
That was fucked up, yo. That was fucked. He could have took her back to the house. Yo,
Yeah, that was fucked up.
Dude, somebody in that house spoke Spanish. I bet you somebody in that house knew a little bit of Spanish.
Man, I would have left her ass. Man.
Nah, man.
I
She
don't
was
even
no
know
threat,
Spanish, but I would at least said no comprende. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh man, come on, dude.
I would let her in, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
she was no threat. She was no threat, bro. No threat.
And she
could've
couldn't
took her
even
back to
run
that house.
fast.
Y'all the type of dudes that's gonna die in these type of movies.
Nah, man.
Trying to be all nice. I would have been out. He did the right move.
Dude, yo, it was 6
She's a
people at the house,
middle-aged
bro.
lady.
What is one lady gonna do with 6 people at the
What
house?
is one middle-aged lady? She's not
exactly 6 people at the house. 2 kids,
not
4
her like
adults.
early.
Y'all ain't see the new Equalizer TV show?
Yeah.
Queen Latifah is an equalizer now. What you talking about? The middle-aged lady?
No, but he had a gun
There's
at the
a
house.
reason why we
He
haven't
had a gun
seen.
at the house.
There's a reason why we haven't seen the TV show.
Yeah, Queen Latifah is an equalizer. Y'all underestimating these
He had a gun.
these older females.
He had a gun at the house. They didn't know about it, but you know what I'm saying? George had to steal at the house.
He had a strap.
Yeah,
He
he had the
had
strap
it
at the
right
house.
next to his money. He said,
Yep.
Let me just get you a little bit of money real quick. I got something for y'all.
Yep.
That lady probably would have been the
strap.
most useful person in the house.
Exactly.
She probably would have. She probably knew how to make all types of shit with the grass and the leaves. And
He acted like he couldn't read body language or something. You couldn't read her body language to see that she was in
we're
distress.
about to edit that out. We're about to edit that out.
Yeah. She gonna make paninis and stuff.
Yeah.
We could read her body language to tell something was off. You know what I mean? Like maybe her family just died or something. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna leave her on the side of the road.
But I mean, like when all this stuff is going on, I would have probably been like, man, that looks a little suspicious. Maybe she's with like the little, they're thinking like maybe this is a terrorist attack or something. That's why I would be like, yeah, nah, you're probably part of the group.
She was tripping out though. She was on some like, I don't know. I know you don't understand what I'm saying, but I'm gonna keep speaking loud and fast and like, yeah, she might have got
scared,
left.
Man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I might have not left her. I might have like definitely got away. I would have like hit that reverse button or hit that reverse or put it in reverse and just backed up and be like, yo, what's going on? Like, I would have made sure she was far away. I'd be like, hey, put your hands up. I would have figured out how to say that. Manos. Arriba.
How crazy. I would have left out of there like he did, but I would have never mentioned anything. I would have came home all calm and stuff like nothing happened.
Did. That's what happened.
When he started,
he didn't say shit when he came home. He
didn't say nothing.
He didn't say shit.
All he had was the little cards that fell from the sky, which they made it seem like it was blood. They made it seem like it was like crazy blood, and then it was just flyers. I'm like, man, you was running for some flyers.
That was a crop duster. Was it like a crop duster or something?
It was a crop duster with flyers.
Yeah. All right, let me get Wally's breakdown on why he rated it a 7. So Wally, why'd you give this a 7?
I mean, if I had to start this off, I mean, just looking at it overall, the movie was decent. I mean, I think the only real major thing is there was really no real villain for it, in my honest opinion. Like, there was just really nothing there, like solidarity that would have raised it up. I think if there was really like a protagonist, I think it would really raise it. But other than that, it was just really much more of just being spontaneous, reacting to just certain events of things like the ship rising onto the beach. Then you looking at just certain other things like when the guy would go to the beach only to find out there was a plane crash there, and then another one coming right out of nowhere. Like, I remember just the first time I'm hearing it and I see the thing going on, but nothing's coming there. But then next, just to only go back a little bit and then to see it again, I'm like, oh, okay, that's what that was. I was just seeing the clouds. That's how good it was, because I didn't even see the plane the first time. But when you see that thing go, I was like, oh yeah.
That was dope special effects. I like the special effects.
Yeah, I like the point like Wally was making. I think that's why, because it was just too open-ended. It was like everybody's just making assumptions, versus like typically I think in those type of movies, man, like, there's at least an event that you could if it's an alien attack, something. But yeah, this one was just like, hey, we think we're getting attacked, or maybe it's this, so you just got to kind of guess what was going on.
Yeah, it's just one of those like just those key moments right there that pretty much showed it better every single time. Like every single time that there was a particular like major moment, it was like it just got sort of better, or it just surprised me a little bit more to where it kicks it up a notch. Because I originally looked at it as more of a 6 or 6.5 at best, but it did raise it up in my eyes as a 7. But my only thing that really pushed it to where I couldn't give it any more higher was when they got to that moment where the cars were blocking the road, and I was thinking to myself in that moment, I know this is not a bunch of Teslas, because the way how they're talking about electricities were all off and everything. I'm like, please don't let this be Teslas. The woman comes white out there. I'm like, nothing but Teslas. Every last one of them are Teslas. But what made it even worse, they're all brand new.
Yep.
You can't make this up.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, that shit was like
white.
And it was white too, right? Then it looked like
white Teslas go down this path.
Then it looked like
I was gonna say, or it looks like the director got lazy and said, "Let's just do Teslas. We got this one color.
That too.
We'll just copy paste, and make it go on as far as
because." And this is where when you saying it got lazy, because right when that moment when they start turning around and leaving, that end credit when they show you that part of all those cars, and then they show you the bigger picture that they're blocking her. I'm like, they ain't no way. There ain't no way. There's no escape.
Especially for, like you said, a secluded area like that. Like you said, for all those, the white ones. So I thought that was like.
So
you didn't like it. It was silly.
You knew like it was sort of like, okay, we're locked off right here. This is the only place you go. But then that moment right there, it just sold to me like, okay, like at that point, where would the actual protagonist come? Why would it just be in this area? Why do you need them to be trapped in this one area? Why? And that was like, it was sort of like a throw off, because it would like, if in my honest opinion, if you really want to sell a thriller, you would sell it to the point where they can go on to other places. Because at the time, I did thought it was that guy at that market, the woman had saw it, or at least he was one of the many pieces that was going to be a part of it.
Danny, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Danny.
Mm-hmm. And even when it came to the guy when he was explaining some stories about what had happened previously, the past other weeks or days ago, amongst his trips or business partners that he was talking to, and it just never just folded up to Key that way. But it's part of the thing that kept you interested. So definitely it was decent.
Okay. Nah, good breakdown. So let me pull up the open discussion questions, and we're probably gonna hit on some of these ones because I like what you guys were breaking down already. So because there is some questions about this movie that I do want to talk to you guys. I want to ask you guys. So because I know there was a little bit of controversy to this stuff. So, all right, would you recommend this movie to anyone, and would you ever watch this again? And I'll start with you, CLS. Would you recommend this movie to anyone, and would you watch this movie again?
Yes and yes. I think everybody should check it out. It was it was a good movie. I ain't saying it was bad. I didn't really like the ending, but we'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, I would recommend it and watch it again.
All right, The Man of Genius. Would you recommend this movie to anyone, and would you watch this again?
Yeah, I would. I don't know if I would. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend this movie to anyone because I just feel like if I recommend a movie, then most of the movies I recommend are definitely at least hitting the 8 category. And this one wasn't bad to the point where it's like comical bad and like people have to see this. This was a pretty decent movie. The acting was phenomenal. The cast was great. It's just the storyline and the plot was okay. The storyline just, wasn't that great. So I wouldn't recommend this movie to anyone. Would I watch the movie again? I would. I'd watch it again from the standpoint of like, man, this is unrealistic. Or if I was dealing with somebody, or if I was watching it with somebody that has a very inquisitive mind, then it'd be more of just like, us conversating why, the movie's playing in the background. Just like, man, is that realistic? No. So that would be the only way I'd watch the movie again to discuss it with somebody.
Okay. Amazing. Would you recommend this movie, and would you watch this movie again?
Yes, I would for both. Also, when you do yours, did you do your breakdown? I don't think you did.
Yeah, I did my breakdown.
Oh, dog.
You did it right before me.
Sorry.
Yeah, I went before Manic.
Sorry,
okay.
But yes and yes for me.
All right. Casey, Fred, would you recommend this movie to anyone, and would you watch this movie again?
Yes and yes. I think it's a good movie for everyone to watch. I think a lot of people can actually see themselves in there. There's a lot of dialogue, open discussions that you can actually have with quite a few people. And, we haven't talked about it, but you saw even race was involved, and paranoia and the fear of the unknown. So, it's a lot of things that you can talk about and actually see and get out of this. So, and a lot of lessons learned too. So, yes.
Yeah, we're going to touch upon some of that. For me, I definitely would, I would recommend it, and I'll also watch this again. Matter of fact, I'm going to watch this with Amazing to see why the hell she gave this an 8. And why she thinks it's believable. So, yeah, I might have to record that on them segments she thinks is real.
It's very believable. Very. I told y'all.
Yeah, okay. All right, Wally, would you recommend this movie to anybody, and would you ever watch this movie again? I think you might be on mute, Wally.
Sorry about that.
No, you good.
Keep getting back. But would I recommend this to anyone? For the sake of the movie, yes. But if you're someone that really is to mystery and figuring out the clues in the movie, not so much. But overall, yeah, I recommend the movie. And would I watch this again? For sure.
Okay. I think that's a good point. I think that's probably, I like figuring stuff out. So I think that's what probably threw me off with this, now that you mentioned that.
Yeah, because there's a lot of missed opportunities in some cases.
All right. So we'll jump into the third question. What do you think about the plot of the storyline? And I'll go to you first, Casey, Fred.
I think probably everybody can agree in the sense that we liked how it started out. It definitely has action in there, and you're trying to figure everything out. But I'm not gonna lie, I did not like the ending. And if there were some things I could change, the ending would definitely be it. And so it just kind of like, I don't know why. It just, and this is one of my favorite lines lately. I always say is due to budget cuts, and it just seems like it just dropped. I mean, I don't know what they were doing. They ran out of money. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, they started out on the right foot. And like I said, you were trying to, I think all of us was trying to be a detective and trying to figure out what's going on. I agree with Manic in the sense of, whose house is this, and what's really going on, and why are these things happening? And sometimes we were caught up because some things were happening at the same time. And so you were really trying to put your detective hat on and figure things out, and just try to realize, hey, where's this director going with it? And so it felt like it was trying to take you on a journey, but it just felt like the roller coaster wasn't finished. So at the end, and it just felt like, okay, that was flat. Give me my money back, So, and that's where I was with that. So,
okay, then. All right, let me get amazing real quick. What did you think about the plot or the storyline?
I liked both. I think some of how you guys had mentioned just like the different pieces that didn't add up. I thought that was intentional as part of the chaos in general, where the people didn't know what was going on. So how when they had said they dropped like those flyers or whatever, I think some was in like Chinese, and then other flyers were made in Arabic. So you didn't even know, who's attacking us. Is it multiple people attacking us? With the way the animals were set up, was it more of a natural disaster set on weather patterns or something crazy? So I thought that was part of what they wanted you to be confused. Even when Manic was saying earlier regarding when GH and Ruth, was that her name? I can remember all their names. But when they showed up at the house, I was thinking, honestly, if that was me, because we've rented some lake houses before, and if somebody showed up with no ID and all they knew is my name, I am not letting you in. I don't care what you look like. You literally could be my twin, and I'm not letting you in that house. I think it would be very creepy.
Even if he told you what you said in the email? Because how would he know what you said in the email?
Scammers. There's like scams out there now that have your family's voices. Like they literally have your like people's voices asking for stuff. Yeah, you ain't coming in. Call the cops on me or something, but you ain't coming up in this house. Not letting it go down.
CLS could be the dude that fall for the I'm the prince of whatever country scam.
Don't have no scams. But dude, if you had a conversation with somebody and he told you everything that you said in the email, how would someone know that? Everything that you said.
They be hacking emails now.
You can hack an email.
Word for word in an email?
Yeah, you can hack an email.
They could hack it.
How?
Haven't you seen that new
emails get hacked all the time? That's like one of the most
I know, but I mean, but in that situation, how? It was a blackout.
Yeah, because he just got a point on that. You really can't hack it at that point.
There's a blackout.
You would have hacked it before. You would have hacked it before the blackout.
Dude? He didn't have his cell phone. He left it at the theater. Remember, they were at a theater in New York, and there was a blackout. That's how he left.
But see, they didn't know all his background.
I was thinking if it was a setup.
Yeah,
I thought set up.
Yeah.
So, but I just thought that was part of everything. It was just making the whole. I just thought the confusion and chaos and gaps was part of what they were trying to do. Also, because I forgot to mention this earlier, I did read that this book was actually on President Obama's book list. And he had notes, and then actually gave some of his notes after the scripting was done, and they worked like the community and how you need to be neighborly and stuff into it. So I just thought that was an interesting tidbit of information.
Obama messed this movie up.
Oh, I'm in a book club. I'm about to bring this to my book club and say we need to read this book, y'all, and then watch the movie.
I think they're gonna throw you out, so you just freed up some of your time. Nah. All right, Case, Manic Genius. What did you think about the plot or the storyline?
I think I touched on it. I jumped the gun early, like I've never done this before, and I started talking about plot and storyline during my rating. But I'll reiterate: storyline was so-so, and the plot was pretty good. Like the whole world ending. It's not a brand new plot, like we haven't seen it before. But then again, you know, an original can only be original once. So I didn't have any issues with the plot. It's just the storyline, how they got to the plot, that I had issues with the holes and the missing pieces, and the director trying to throw us one way and pull us a different way, and just leaving so much open-ended. I didn't like that. There was too much open-endedness in every scene, it seemed like, as the scenes transitioned. So not a fan of the storyline. Plot was pretty good.
Okay. CLS, what did you think about the plot or the storyline?
Same thing they already said. Like I was very into it. Like I was invested. Like at the beginning of the film, I was really into it, and then things started to kind of go down after. I guess it was Clay, right? When he went out on the road, that he was trying to use his cell phone. He was trying to see if he could get a signal so he could make a phone call, and that's when he ran into the lady on the side of the road and all that stuff or whatever. It started getting boring. Rosie, I don't know. Like to me, like I think Rosie was like the most interesting person in this whole movie. Like her stories, especially the most interesting story that she told was the one about the West Wing when she was laying in bed with her mother. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like.
She
you remember
kept
the story
focused
though?
on. She kept focused on like she knew something was wrong, where everybody else was concerned with each other. She knew like we got to.
She knew. Mm-hmm. That's why I liked her character the most. Everyone on here, I liked her the most. That was a good story that she told, though. I mean, she was talking about an episode of The West Wing. I never watched the show, but a friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, he used to watch it. He would tell me about it. But she was basically saying there was a story. There was an episode of The West Wing, and she was talking about how like somebody was telling the president a story about this guy that lived by the river or something like that. You remember?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he was basically saying the guy was real religious. And I guess they sent like there was like a radio report saying that the town was about to be flooded and everybody was leaving, but this one guy didn't want to leave because he was like real religious. He was like, "Nah, I'm good. God will save me." So everybody kept trying to help him. He was saying a rowboat came and was like, "Hey, come on, get in, we'll save you." He was like, "Nah, I'm good. God will save me." And then later a helicopter came with a ladder. It was like, "Yeah, come on, we'll save you." He was like, "Nah, I'm good." And then the guy ended up drowning in the river, and then he died and went to heaven.
Oh, okay.
He died and went to heaven. He was angry at God. He's like, "Well, God, why didn't you help me? As I pray to you all the time, like, why didn't you help me?" He's like, "What are you talking about? I sent out a radio report. I sent you a helicopter, and I sent you a rowboat. What more do you want?"
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and then Julia Roberts looked at Amanda looked at Rosie and was like, "What does this all mean? Like, what do you want?" She was like, I'm tired of waiting. The point of the story is I'm tired of waiting. Let's do something.
Mm-hmm. And
that was the point.
That's actually like it's a super popular story. Like you can YouTube and there's even like little videos that do this story. They used to show that story I want to say somewhere I used to see it all the time. But also like what were you expecting? Like God, like Jesus himself to show up on the roof and say that like he's sending you all these signs, but you're not listening to anything.
Exactly.
So the signs are there, you just gotta pay attention.
And she was like, "I'm tired of sitting around." And she had looked at that house previously. She had looked at that house when she followed the deer out in the woods. She didn't go up to it the first time, and the bunker just happened to be in that house.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me get Wally real quick. What did you think about the plot or the storyline?
The plot, I think I agree with everybody here. Storyline, definitely, I would change the storyline a little bit because there was just too much gaps. It did so much like injustice to it, to where it could have sold it a little bit more higher. One of the key moments I think that was really off was the fact that when the husband he drove up to try to talk about he was gonna go to the city, and it's like, well, wait a minute, you drove there coming to the house, but you didn't know how to get back.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, your wife didn't even give you no directions. I mean, like how this works. So that was just very off-putting in itself because, but I think that they sort of sell like he was just trying to make sure everything was right. So he was in a panic like type of atmosphere. So, I mean, for what it was, it worked. It is what it is. What other key moments where it's a little bit like I wish they actually played it, connect the dots to. So yeah, when the guy had eventually went to that other house, right? And because I remember the moments as he was coming to the house, the amount of stuff that was on the yard and everything, and I was like, that was a little bit so off, right? But by the time he went to the beach and then he was ending up seeing, you know, all the things, I'm like, wait a minute. The first thing you notice is the watch on the floor in the sand. But then you realize you pick it up, and next thing you know, you like there's a jacked up hand. Next thing you know, you fall, and then you see the body. I'm like, wait, you didn't notice the body before you see? Like, how?
Or you fell?
Like, come on, like it, you know. But you know, that's all just interesting parts to just to keep the thriller up and everything. So I actually am glad that they kept the just the cinematic part of that. It just being able to not really sit there and search around or even pick up clues, knowing that there's so much things going on to figure out, because they always keep mentioning about the wife being on the plane and hopefully she's okay and everything. Because one of the biggest things that I really wanted to be solved in this is, why was everything popping up on that beach? Out of everything that was going on, everything popped up through that beach. The ship, they fixed that up with a whole bunch of rocks. Then next thing you know, now you got these planes. You got one plane, another plane. But you notice, wait a minute. The first plane that came through, no one didn't hear no plane crash. No one didn't hear that plane crash. Oh, but next thing you know, here comes another one. But no one don't know why they're popping up over there. I just felt like it very much left too much wide open in that case. It just left way too much. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I think if they sort of change certain scenarios and actually, bring some form of protagonist. I mean, granted, if they did bring a protagonist, it wouldn't really matter, because you have to sit there and ask yourself, well, what are a nice family of 4, and then 2, a father and a child that is just in their own home? What are they going to do against the protagonist by themselves? So it's like, it was good for what it was. You definitely gonna be excited with it, as it builds up, picking up clues, trying to connect the dots to everything. I just wish the dots actually connected way more to the point that it actually hit somewhere. But it's still good enough.
All right. Yeah, for me, what I thought about the plot of the storyline, like kind of listening, so I must have missed a bunch of pieces, but like what you guys are kind of mentioning, it's just like I do kind of like the plot of the storyline a little bit, because I think they had the chaos going on and stuff like that, so maybe that's what kind of threw me off at first. But the one thing I did like what they captured is the people dynamics within, because I think Fred and even Manny or somebody else was hitting on it, as far as like there was the racial epitones. Then there was also the paranoia. My man, when they went to his house to try to get the medicine, he was like, "Look, I can't help you, dog." He went for self at that point.
Oh yeah.
Then what CLS was saying, like the girl, like kind of having an understanding, kind of being an adult in this situation. So I do like the people dynamics of the whole situation, and I think maybe that's why they threw so much like chaotic stuff out there, like nobody knowing what's really going on. Everybody's just trying to piece it together and stuff. So yeah, I think I kind of like the plot and the storyline a little bit better now. Like you guys mentioned it, I think towards the end, it did drop off a little bit. So yeah, they should have gave a little bit of clues, unless they're gonna have like a part 2 or something. Then it would make sense. But yeah, there's gotta be some type of closure or something. Something they just can't leave it like that. She just going out watching Friends and stuff. So it's like
it looked unfinished, right? Like it was unfinished.
Yeah.
Like it could have been maybe 30 or 40 minutes longer to explain more.
Yeah,
because when we get to the one where we're like, what would we change if we were the director or the producer? I do got like some things I want to add to that, but let's go ahead and jump into the fourth one. What scenes are actress performances stuck out to you? So I'll start with Manic on this one.
I think all the actors and actresses did a pretty good job, solid all the way through. None of the characters seemed forced. If I was being like really nitpicky, I could say like the daughter would be like the least best actor out of everybody, but
these kid actors, man, you always kind of get them.
Are you talking about Ruth or Rose?
No, Ruth.
In your opinion,
it's about Ruth. Yeah.
No, Ruth was great. I'm talking about the little kid. So Rose.
Rosie.
Oh, I liked Rose.
Frozen.
Yeah,
I liked her too. I liked her too, but I felt like she was a little over the top at times. But I mean, that's me being real nitpicky. I felt like all the actors and actresses did an excellent job. I would say the performance that stuck out the most, I think, was GH because he had to play so many different. He had to wear so many different faces and wear so many different hats. He had to wear the initial hat of mystery when he first comes to the door. Not giving too much information, kind of like being very choosy and careful with his words. Then he had information that, could have been a little bit helpful into like figuring out everything, once he actually connected the dots. So he was giving information and not giving it all out there. So I think that was pretty interesting, the way he was able to, act as an actor who knows information but not giving it. So I saw that hat that he wore, the hat that he wore when he came to the realization that like, hey, his wife is not coming back. Like she never made to a safe landing on that plane. He's already given up hope, but he still tries to stay strong for his daughter and giving her some hope. But you finally see when he gets drunk and he's dancing with dude's wife.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, my girl's gone and we shouldn't be doing this. But yeah, I'm with it if you with it. I think he got left that door open. Like, hey, you with it? He's like, we ain't got much time, but one more shot. Like, hey.
Yeah. And then notice. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think his acting out of everybody stuck out the most. And he had to get very aggressive with his neighbor. Like, I know you're not about to shoot me. You've done work at my house. Like, you know me. Like, he was really. It felt really believable. Like he really believes this dude's not going to shoot him. And for a minute, I didn't know if he was going to get shot or not. So I think they did an excellent job there. He was very convincing in that whole cinematic play. That was one of the scenes that really stuck out.
Yeah, my man Kevin Bacon wasn't playing. He was like, look, it's all rules changed. Like he was like, hospitality is no longer in my vocabulary. All right, let me get CLS. What scenes or performances stuck out to you?
I just thought it was dope seeing all four of them in the same film. All four: Kevin Bacon, Myha'la Ali, Julia Roberts, and Ethan Hawke.
Yeah,
they
definitely
all got
a great
Oscars,
cast.
Bro. He has 2 Oscars, right? Myha'la Ali.
When I was looking at the casting, all of them are like
he got one for Green Book and he got one for Moonlight. Plus, Plus, did you watch Luke Cage? He was Cottonmouth.
Yeah,
I remember. Okay,
yeah,
that's right.
He's a great actor, man. Like, I mean, so was Julia Roberts. I was in fucking Denmark watching. Was it Sleeping with the Enemy? You ever see that movie?
Oh yeah, that's classic.
Love that movie.
Great movie, but she's a dumbass for flushing that. Why would you flush a wedding band down the toilet? Yeah. That was just you was literally in the ocean. Why didn't you just drop it in there? Never mind, I'm going off topic. But yeah, I just thought that was stupid. Anyway, I don't want to go up and stay on topic. But yeah, I was talking to somebody about that the other night. And I was like, man, why would you do that? That's so fucking stupid. But anyway, the movie. Okay.
Scenes, actresses, performance, scenes.
Oh, performance. Yeah, I know I'm trying to stay on topic. I ramble.
Yeah, you're good. You're good, CLS.
That stuck out. Well, I mean, it's like the ones you already touched on, like the one you touched on, like when George and Ruth came to the house unannounced. They didn't expect him to come, and they didn't believe that was their home. He was like, "What does it look like? He lives here." You know what I mean? He pulls up in this nice car, though. What was it, like a Bentley or something?
Yeah, he was balling. Yeah, it was a nice
like
car.
A Maybach or something. Yeah, even the son knows it. What was the son's name? Was it Archie? He said,
Archie.
That's a really nice car. Yeah, he was a fucking pervert too. Remember that scene by the pool when you was taking pictures?
That was one of my scenes.
Like, dude, there's no your cell phone is off. You know, it's not like you're sitting on the ground texting somebody. I mean, clearly you're taking her picture. You know what I mean? And then he tried to jerk off to him when he was in the bed. Remember? He's such a perv.
Didn't say nothing to her.
Didn't say nothing to her. He's just trying to masturbate. And in her bed. And it's probably Ruth's bed too. That's fucking gross. And I think he got I think he got bit by a tick. Maybe like a deer tick or something.
Yeah, Lyme disease.
It was Lyme disease. That can cause your teeth to fall out like that. He started pulling his teeth
I don't
out.
think he had Lyme disease.
What do you think it was?
I think the tick was just random. I think it was like the radiation or whatever they were saying that caused his teeth to fall out. Like right. I think that bite was just like a random thing that happened.
And it was a combination of the screeching, that loud screeching noise. just causing the headaches and that stuff.
Yeah.
And then the basement scene, that the acting, I thought that, like I said, that was one of my favorite scenes too. And another thing I thought that was dope about that basement scene was the fact that she wanted to listen to that Next record. I don't even, the average white person don't even know who Next is, bro. They don't even know who Next is. Walk up to a white person tomorrow, ask them who Next is. They can be like, Next who? They don't know who Next is. Like, this 90s R&B.
Yeah,
right
she did know a lot of R&B and stuff.
Yeah,
so I did
like
that whole spin on it.
Yeah, I thought that was, especially that particular record. I mean, that was one of their biggest records too. Like that one, I remember, man, when it was going. That was like 112 and Jagged Edge back in the 90s, man. It was fighting for the charts back then, huh?
Blackstreet.
Yeah, and remember they did that, and Next had that record with Jaheim, that Anything record, dude.
I think everybody knew those records. They were just so popular. I think everybody knew them.
So you heard the record that Next did with 50 Cent? Exactly.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Exactly.
I don't know. I knew the one they listened
Next did a record. They did a record with 50 Cent.
They listened to. Everybody knew that song.
Well, yeah, that song. They knew that record. That was one of the biggest records.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Julia Roberts knew it. Everybody knew it.
Yeah, it was.
Nah, she did her homework though, because she knew quite a bit though. So you could tell she wanted to showcase like she had some soul in this movie.
Yeah, and she was about to get some soul too. He's gonna give her 10 inches of it in that basement. He's about to give it to her too. He's gonna give her some soul. That Black Mamba. Yeah, right. She was, and then I guess the other scene that stuck out when Ruth was talking to what's the husband's name again?
Clay.
Yeah, Clay. Remember when they were talking, smoking weed, and they were just up there talking. And then I thought the relationship between George and Ruth was pretty cool. Like, if she confided in her father, she was like, "I'm up here smoking with this nigga. You saying, this dude would fuck me, right? He wants to fuck me. You know that, right?" Yeah. He's not that. He's not that. I know he ain't about that life. Like, he's not that type of dude. But trust me, he would. You know what I mean? Like, if I threw it at him, he would take it.
Yeah, that was some funny dialogue right there. Yeah, that shit was hilarious.
It was.
But all right, let me get Wally real quick. What scenes or actress performances stuck out to you in this?
All right, so the scene, I think one of the just that plane coming down, that was like top tier scene, and of course where all the cars blocking that railroad. I mean, just the paths. Those were definitely like one of the more higher up scenes. The ship would have been another one, but there was no true explanation to the ship part other than just being there, and then they just showed the rocks, which was honestly a misplay right there. But now as far as the actors or the actress, definitely Ali was a good one for sure. For what he said when he was breaking down and explaining to the woman about the scenario with his colleague friend of his. Because you would think at that point in time when he mentioned the whole colleague part, that would have been one of the key people or, key noticeable people that probably play a part in this. Because when you think about what he had said in the movie, you would think to yourself, they would have been someone, by now, if they were taking over, they would have shown themselves eventually, right? But then, of course, he mentioned that no one's in control. And when you think about that part and you think about how they were just shutting down the electricity and everything else and all the connections, but never making a connection to ever make themselves known, it was like at that point, you know what? This is really like, it's about to get real dark. And it's just like whatever's got going on is going on. Other than that, I think the other actress, like the female child, she was also a good one too. I really do like her scenery of, just the whole play, because once she was out of that fold of watching TV, or in this case, watching Friends episodes, she started really getting to that fold of wondering, about everything else. Her whole senses, her whole mind frame to everything around her, surroundings, was just picking up on a whole nother, tier with everything. I remember even that moment when they went to the woods, because, you see that little cabin in the woods, and, that would lead to something. And then, of course, even that house that's across from it, I don't remember if they even went there yet or not, but that was another opening because of the massive amount of deers that was there. Even just the massive amount of deers that she's seen, that was another good scenery right there in itself. Because
that was freaky as hell.
Like, where these armies of deers came from.
Yeah,
And
that scene definitely threw me off with them deer.
And Archie just kind of brushed it off, like, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't like, he didn't take it seriously. She was like trying to tell him, he was like, dude, I mean, do they usually stand in large groups like that? Because they don't, not that large.
Nah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, especially when people come around them, you know, they're doing a jet off. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
like you said, with how up close they was getting. So yeah, definitely the deer was a sign that something wasn't right. Like,
something
hey.
was off. Yeah,
oh
definitely. Yeah, right.
Other than that, I think, and then of course Ruth herself, she also played a good part as well, being the smart, snarky, you know, child with herself. You know, she was definitely like one of the more I would say she was really like one of those starter pieces to really start up. You know, when things looked like it was getting dull, she was going to be the one to raise it right back up. In a sense, for me. So between those three people, I think they were the best ones. I think the son, he played his role very well as far as just the everyday teenager that wasn't worried about nothing because he was just thinking about his everyday life or whatever, however he was thinking in his, you know, every teen mind frame. And then the father was just, I will say he did play his part a little bit over the top because in his scene where he was driving and he was going to certain places, but then of course he drive back and then that plane that was just throwing down those papers. I'm like, you really didn't have to do all that, especially since it was just paper being falling out. But yeah, even if it was just red gas, like again, you didn't really have to do nothing there either because you're in the car, like. So and then to be gone that to a longer stretch within the movie until like eventually come back, I'm like, the way how they played it out, it seemed like he was gone for like more than 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
You were
That's
in
what I
that
thought. I was like, man, where's this guy out? Like,
so it was a little bit too much, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, he played his part nonetheless, but I think for sure Ali, Ruth, and then of course the girl. I think those are the top 3 for me.
okay. Nah, they definitely had solid roles. All right, let me go ahead and get Casey Fred. What scenes and performances stuck out to you?
Okay, I'm gonna be a little biased and go all the way back. I'm gonna say Julia Roberts was probably my favorite. She's like the Wonder Woman of the group, and of course, we all know Pretty Woman and how strong of a role she played, and how she got all these great performances and won awards from that. Actually, it was the simple fact that how it all started, where the scene, her husband's in bed, Clay, and she's the one packing. He's like, "What are you doing?" "Oh yeah, I booked this, you know, Airbnb, and we're getting ready to take a vacation." I mean, she's got everything planned, got his his food over right there on the nightstand, and got the kids already, and stuff is already packed and everything like that. And then a couple scenes later, she's like, all of a sudden, you find out she loves things, but she looks right in the camera and says, "But I hate people." And then that's how it all kind of like, you know, starts there. And then you see all the different sides of her and how she prejudges people and how she prejudged GH and how she and Ruth. In fact, her Ruth, they had some going back and forth conversations. She was like, "Man, these women about to get ready to fight anytime now," you know. And one of my favorite scenes, Clay is hanging on for dear life. He knows he's got a real strong woman, and it was like the time where they're in the kitchen. He was like, "Hey, you know," and you could tell he's horny, and he was like, looks at her and touches her or puts her hand on her or something like that, and she walks away and she says, "Well, you know, we got 15 minutes before we got to take the kid." And he's like, "Oh, hey, let me." I don't need that much time, and he runs to the back so he can try to get some real quick. And so I enjoyed that, and then just her growth throughout the movie or whatever. You know, she has all these precursors. She's of course judging, you know, the black family and stuff like that. She's always doubting and questioning every situation, everything. She gets mad so quick, so fast. But then I love how she turned around and she tells GH, you know, when they're finally by themselves, it's like, you know, I'm sorry, I was a real asshole to you guys, and you know, I apologize. I prejudged you guys and everything. And you know, GH was like, yeah, you know, you're a strong cup of coffee, but you know, it's all good. We all have to grow and we all have to learn and stuff like that. And then I like to simplify how she was a real strong mother and always was like that scene where she, during the noise and stuff, she ran out to try to find her kids. The only thing I was curious about, and you guys can help me with this, but that time where her and Ruth are pinned up against that house and they are surrounded by deer, they decide that they're going to scream and yell. And these deer took one look at them and said, man, these women are crazy, and just took off running.
Mm-hmm.
That had me laughing so bad. But then I thought about it and I said, wait a minute. I've been around a lot of deer myself. Would that have really happened? And that I wasn't for sure, you know. But I don't know. You guys could tell me. Is anybody hunted deer? Do they run if you start screaming?
They taste good.
They typically take off like when you
They
like
run.
walk. Yeah, they
Be
gone
close to
even.
they out.
Some of them will watch though, because I was gonna say I spent many years in like very, very northern Minnesota. And deers do herd in hundreds. Like I remember in the wintertime you could see 200 deer on a frozen lake. So depending on like the season and what kind of deer they are, they can herd into the hundreds and they'll just stare at you. Like normally the ones I've seen anyways that have been that many, they just look at you. Now I've never started running or, you know, like waving my hands at them, but when there's that many, they just normally like look at you.
Oh yeah. And I never thought they would be like aggressive either. Like they're gonna like attack humans. They just run away from you. They normally just run away. And they taste good. I finally got to, when I moved to Georgia, I got to taste deer meat for the first time. It does taste pretty
You
good.
talk about that summer sausage.
Pretty lean meat.
Have you had deer chili? That's pretty good too.
It is. I have. Yep.
Hey man, this ain't the damn cooking channel, man.
Nah, it was like a dude. No, it was like a dude I used to work for. Like he had a buddy that would, you know, like you have a manager and you have a buddy who used to come visit him. And he used to bring that shit in. He used to put that shit in the freezer and he started giving it to us, the workers. So I said I never tried it before. Brought that shit home and cooked it. That shit do taste good though, bro.
But you thought you thought you were eating deer. You were actually eating human body.
Nah, bro, it was deer.
You're eating human remains, man.
Deer. Yeah. It was deer.
That's his friend.
This ain't the Walking Dead, nigga. Like they was
this is
on
fresh.
there. Yeah. This ain't the Walking Dead.
This is fresh.
Nah, it was deer. Definitely, yeah.
You sure? Did you see the deer's body, or he just gave you a slab of meat?
Yeah, but it still had a leg. It still had the hoof? What is it called? A hoof? The foot? Yeah, the hoof and everything on that hoof. Legs.
They threw that in there to make you believe.
No, that meat is good. Amazing's family always be getting that. Sending it. I be trying to get that summer sausage. But all right, let me go to Amazing on this. What scenes or actress performances stuck out to you?
I'll agree. I think everybody did a good job, but I've also always loved Julia Roberts. So she's just one of my favorites. So I definitely have to give her a shout out.
Yeah.
Scenes. I was going to mention the one when the boy was snapping pictures of the girl, which I thought was just like so funny because so many people in general always take undercover photos, I feel like. So I just thought that was funny. Yes. And the other scene that I know we had talked about, was it last week we did the movie, whichever movie Equalizer, when the mobster guy was stepping on the glass, and I was like, there's some scenes that you just like feel the pain. That's how I felt when the one boy started losing his teeth, because I've always had this reoccurring dream every couple of years that I lose bits of my teeth. And it's the most horrible dream ever. So when he started losing his teeth, I was like, oh my God, it's so awful. That's feeling so terrible.
I felt that. Are you on like meth in this dream?
I wanted to get on that. I really wanted to get on that one too, man. But that fucking time zone fucked me up, yo. That was 6 hours.
The Equalizer. That was a good one.
Yeah, I wanted to get on it too, but only. And the main reason I wanted to get on it was because I was arguing with a dude online about the movie.
Oh, about the mobsters and
Equalizer 3.
denim outfits.
No, but here's no, but, yeah, but no, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. You know that Denzel Washington is younger than Sylvester Stallone, right?
Oh, he is?
69.
With the age gap. No, this is what we were arguing about because he got mad. He was like, he went to see the movie, and dude was like, he said, "Man, fuck that." He said, "You expect me to believe that Denzel Washington, old ass, can take out a whole Italian mob by himself or something like that?" I was like, "Nigga, what's the difference than Sylvester Stallone, old ass, taking out a whole Mexican cartel by himself?" Didn't you see Rambo: Last Blood?
Yeah, they're both old though, man. I kind of agree with the guy that was arguing with you. I'm like, man, my man Denzel had a bad back in this movie.
He did.
It's a wrap. I can't see.
He's younger than Stallone. Stallone is almost 80. This nigga, he lured a whole Mexican cartel back to a farm and killed everybody. Then he sat on a porch with blood.
We need more new action heroes in like the midlife, like age 30 to like 45. Well, I don't want to see nobody over 50 in no more movies.
Rambo movies, and you're like 80
because they don't look that good anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
But amazing. You done with your scenes and performances?
The other scenes, I actually liked the end scene, where Rose found the house in the bunker and got to watch her movie. Just because I'm hoping actually, because again, I really like this movie. I hope there is a follow-up sequel to it. And I thought that the way they ended it, you really don't know, does everybody make it back to the house? I mean, eventually you're going to be found. Like, people are going to know that you got the bunker. So, I mean, lucky you got it first, but once again, like, there would be so much chaos if that happened. I believe, like, just going back to the point of chaos, like, think about Hurricane Katrina. That was a disaster in one area of the country, and it was complete chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine that happening in the entire, like, you have no law enforcement, you have no healthcare, you're just like, it's everybody for themselves, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
that's it for me.
All right, so I'll go ahead and tackle this real quick, and then we'll jump into the next one. So the scenes that kind of stuck out, definitely the beginning part where they came to the house, because like I said, I ain't gonna lie to you. If people rolled up talking about this my house, I'm definitely judging you from the jump. I'd be like, yeah, nah, I'm not gonna believe you. I'm thinking it's a scam. So I do like how they kind of set the storyline with that incident, because it made you think. There was a little bit of, like I said, some of the racial aspects, but also it's that, like, man, we don't trust these people. We don't know, everything's going wrong. And then the other scene, I don't know if y'all caught that, where it was like towards the end. What was it, like the actual city that they could see was being bombed or something?
Yeah, I think it was another,
yeah, it was like an overview.
Wasn't it New York City?
Yeah, New York City.
New York City, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was New York.
I think so, because remember that's where he said he came from. They went to see.
That's right. They were outside in the city. Yeah.
They were outside in the city, and They only came home because he said the roads were familiar, and it was a blackout, so they just came back home.
So I did like that scene because it was like, okay, man, maybe there is like, it kind of filled in a little bit for me when I seen that scene.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, when it clicked to the girl when she's watching Friends, I'm like, dang, did it, is everybody gonna start blowing up, or the radiation? So definitely they got to close it out a little bit. Definitely would have wished they would have put more stuff in there, but that scene definitely stuck out to me. And then, like, I think Wally was mentioning with the planes and even the boat on the beach. I think that definitely stuck out to me.
Yeah.
So those scenes. So, but other than that, I think all the performances, how, like I said, the people were interacting, because it wasn't like a heavy cast like the typical movies where you just got so many people in it. It was just like mainly them, and they're all great actors. So I think they did do a good job, like, carrying the movie from their aspects and the different, like, age dynamics. Because, like, you guys were mentioning the boy where he was just like, typical horny child trying to, like, get his on. Then you had the Julia Roberts character and the other guy where they're starting to, like, kind of interact more and stuff. And then you got the older dude, Ethan Hawke's character, like, just hanging out smoking weed with the younger girl. So it was kind of weird dynamics, like, developing in that whole movie. So I did like how they kind of captured some of that. But all right, we'll go ahead. We'll jump into the fourth question. If you were the director or the producer of this movie, what would you change or do differently? And I'm gonna come to you first on this, Wally, because I know you was kind of hitting on this. It seemed like you was eager to make some changes on this.
Yeah, man. I definitely would, if I had to make some changes. What changes would I do here, honestly? If I had to make some changes, I think they would be like, there will be an indefinite like a search around. Like eventually Ali GH of the GH, he would definitely tell them like what had happened. They probably had did some search around amongst the beach if particular people, quote unquote, because I think if you're always gonna keep that mind frame in your head, like, oh, your wife and / your mother is possibly dead or alive, one or the other, you at least search the plane because there was at least 2 plane crashes there. You search out, there's something there. There's something there. And even if it's not the actual planes that may have been the ones that crashed there, but at least there's something there that may have helped you or at least give you a good idea of anything else, possibility whatsoever. Because these bodies are here and they're, piled up on the beach. Something's there, I would believe. So that was one thing. I think them exploring that would have been the case. I don't remember if they explored this, but like I remember saying when the female girl and then her brother was in the woods and the female had noticed that there was another house across from the woods.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they explored that, but I hope they actually did explore that. But other than that, let me see what else would have been another.
That was the same house she ended up in at the end. Rosie?
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
It was the same.
Yeah,
it was the same
I think
house.
that was the bunker.
It was the same
house.
house.
Okay.
She was just like, we should go there, but the brother didn't want to. He said, let's go back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, okay.
But at the end of the movie, they said they were all headed there anyway because they acknowledged that he did do some work at that specific house, building a custom bunker.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's right.
So they were all headed there anyway, and Rose was already there. Rosie was already there.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Which is why they were out looking for her.
Right. Another key part, I think, like you guys are saying, I think they would have did something to where this would just be the part 1 of the series, and then they'll make a part 2. But they would eventually, like somewhere towards the end, they would have shown somebody in or anything in involvement of this to where, because like the young boy has said, right? If this was said, this is the death of America, whatever country of that language was speaking of on that paper, then they were coming for the whole America, not just that one part of New York or that section of where the movie took place. So I would think this would be like a nice little connection, however it may be, and then this would prolong to somewhere else, extending the movie at least to a part 2, because this definitely left a lot of open gaps towards the story in a lot of places, because it still wasn't fully complete in my honest opinion. I'm gonna stop right there because I can't really think of everything right now.
Now I only got like a couple too. Like I think if I would make some changes, kind of like what you're speaking on, Wally, where, man, I think like there should have been like something that popped up on the TV, like, look, how they had the fuzzy thing and the guy talking, where it's just like we're under attack. They're attacking multiple cities, and beware or something to cut off, like you said, just something basic like that, where it just like captures like, okay, damn, we're something is going down. It don't have to be long. They don't have to spell it out all the way, but like you said, like give us that flash, and then everybody's like, oh shit, okay, man, like you were saying, let's gather around the houses and go gather people, whoever we could, and like maybe get a little group or something so we're prepared or something, get supplies, whatever. So I think they would have made those changes. I think that would have connected the movie a little bit more for me. You would have had, like I said, they don't have to spell out how typically everything's happened. They could have done it in like the second movie, but at least you understand, okay, yeah, we are being attacked. That's solid now. We don't know who it is at this point. That will roll out in the next movie, but you have an understanding versus, going out on Friends, the last episode, the finale, Yeah. But all right, Casey, Fred, if you were the director of this movie, what would you change or do differently, or would you just keep it as is?
Oh no, I wouldn't have kept it as it is. And you guys know my favorite thing is miniseries. This should have definitely went into
you said
series thing. I'm always down with that.
You said season 1, huh?
Yeah, because it's just like we don't know who was attacking for real, and it was like they didn't. I mean, everybody had all these different languages, but it, like you were saying, it was too many. Like they was throwing everybody off, and you just didn't know. And it would be, it would be kind of cool. Everybody has too much pride anyway. So if you really did something, you would kind of be like, hey, it was me that blew up, blah, 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 and there was nobody standing up saying, yes, it was us that was taking you down. And so I felt like if you had a mini series, it would be like that. And that Friends, I don't know, maybe you guys can help me, but it feels like with Friends, it started with her watching Friends, and at the end, it ends with her watching Friends. Nobody really died in this movie, and usually a really good movie, there's always somebody that has to kind of like get cut off. And I probably would have changed that where somebody would have actually. And at one time, I almost thought it was going to be the boy. To be honest with you,
he on his way out.
He
That
falling
boy, he
out
about
and
done.
stuff like that, and he was
10
on
minutes
death's
into the next
door.
movie.
And so I was just like, he got to die because he ain't going to school looking like that. He can't impress. He can't even impress Ruth no more. He don't have no teeth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my man, teeth is shot.
Mhm.
It's a wrap for them teeth.
Always just put
Yeah.
some fake ones in. Pop
That
them in
nigga-
there.
Yeah, give my man some dentures.
And eating fucking baby
But all
food
right,
and applesauce.
Let me get amazing real quick. So if you were the director or producer of this movie, what would you change or do differently? Or would you was rated pretty high, so you just keep it the same?
Yeah, the only thing I actually was gonna steal from Fred's book and say I think it would also be a good miniseries. It kind of reminded me of I don't like
Fred with these damn miniseries.
Mhm.
But I do kind of agree on that one. This one would make a good miniseries.
Yeah, I don't like series that go on and on and on forever. Like I like miniseries. I have to have a stop and a start, or a start and a stop. So I like The Purge. I don't know if you guys have watched it. And those have a couple good miniseries. I think where it starts and it ends, and you're not
Right.
watching it for like years. And I think this would be
Mhm.
a good miniseries.
Oh yeah. And you talking about when they turned it into a TV series or the films?
Well, I like the films, but I
Yeah.
also liked the TV miniseries.
And you remember
Those were good.
Ethan Hawke was in the very first Purge film. You remember that?
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, definitely. My man been in everything.
He died in it too.
But all right, Manny Genius, let me get you. If you were the director or producer of this movie, what would you change or do differently?
I would definitely give some clarity on the situation, especially at the end. I would have changed the ending a bit differently. I would have at least showed I would have showed it from a completely different perspective and like showed another like family struggling, or maybe somebody in the city. Like I would have panned between a different family or something like that, or shit, even pan to the mother of Ruth and the wife of GH. I would have left it open so that, because I mean they can always come up with a
that'd be pretty clever.
But I think if they would have did that, shown like another perspective of people struggling from a different environment or circumstances, it would just kind of open that door to be really excited about a part two. Because I think they'll introduce a part two. I mean, if they do make a part two, it'll just be kind of like did you see the first one? Okay, we'll see the second one. But I think if they would have introduced like something extreme, or not even extreme, just introduced a different perspective of a set of different circumstances, they could have this going. And it's kind of like Bird Box, Bird Box was such a good movie that they made a second one, and they just called it, the Barcelona or something like that. They just gave it the title of the city. So, this event that happened that we saw, and we enjoyed the movie and the concept behind it, it opens a door for them to make, millions of Bird Boxes, because the very first one just followed a certain people in their circumstances. So there's people all around the world that go through that same experience, but their circumstances are completely different. So it gives them that flexibility. I think they should just open the door. That's what I would have did at the end.
No, I like that. That would kind of remind me of that They Clone Tyrone, where it was like a whole other city that happened and stuff. He's like, what was my man just looking at it and stuff? So yeah, I like that. All right,
like,
CLS.
Tyrone, ain't that you?
All right, CLS, if you were the director or the producer of this movie, what would you change or do differently? Or would you just keep it the same since you were rated pretty high? You were delusional with Amazing on this one.
I mean, I would just, I mean, just kind of adding on to what everyone already said. Like, yeah, I would just make the ending longer and explain more.
Okay.
So you know what's going on? Because we, as like Manic said, like we knew ultimately everyone was headed to the house. And was it Ruth and Amanda, they would have got there first since they were already in the woods headed towards the house. So they would have got there first before everyone else. I guess they were in the car, Clay and them, and they were heading, to the bunker. But, like maybe they should have showed more like activity in the city, Maybe showed like other people who were also experiencing the blackout and them panicking, running through the city or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I definitely agree with that. I think that city like view of just blowing up and stuff, everything in a frenzy. Then I think that would have been a good, like you say, alternate ending.
Yeah, they could have showed more. Like the only thing I remember was when Ruth was in the bunker, like when she popped the DVD and when she started watching Friends, you notice how the camera it kind of pans over to like that closet and you can see a computer monitor and stuff popping up on that monitor explaining what was going on.
Oh, okay. I ain't even check.
That's all they gave us. That's all they gave us at the end. I said, man, just like Manic said, he said just lazy writing, I guess.
They got to be coming with something else. So that's probably why they just kept us like guessing like that.
They might make a part 2 though. They could make a part 2.
They could. That's what I'm thinking.
A continuation from from that basement scene. Yeah, that would be dope if they did.
But all right, man, we'll go ahead to the last one. So now that we heard different perspectives and stuff, would you change your score? Or are you going to keep it the same? So let me pull back up the rating scale. So I'll start with Manic Genius on this. You're going to keep your original rating, or are you going to change it?
I'm going to keep my original rating.
Okay. What was your original rating again?
7.2.
All right, CLS, you gonna change your score, or are you gonna keep your rating in this game the same?
No, let's keep it at 8.
Okay. Amazing.
I'll keep mine at 8 as well.
All right, KC Fred, man, the Chiefs just won. You're in a good mood. You're enlightened.
You're
gonna go up, or
7.5.
You staying put? All right, I had it at a 6.8. I'm gonna actually go up a little bit because I definitely missed some parts. Y'all connected some pieces to me, so I'm gonna go up to a solid 7. I'm going up there with Wally unless he changes his. So Wally, you gonna keep your score the same? Are you going up, down?
I'm gonna keep it the same.
Okay. But all right, man. Overall, solid movie. I think. Like we all mentioned, they missed some parts. So did y'all catch like the racial epitones what everybody was talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all think some of that was in there? You think they was wrong to kind of like stereotype them from the jump?
No, I don't think it's wrong. I think it's natural. It was what everybody does. If you associate crime with people of color, then that's just how you're gonna look at it. It's unfortunate, but it's the reality.
Yeah,
just like if I lived in an area where all the crime was, or if I seen a lot of crime and it was mostly by people who wore red shirts, I would associate people who wore red shirts with crime. So,
but I did like how they make the minorities balling in this movie, though. I like that.
Yeah, that we're gonna let go. We're not gonna bring that up. We'll say
that.
No, she didn't say nothing.
What'd you say?
Manic talking about me, my people.
Hey, don't do that shit right now.
But I do think most people are just naturally afraid of black men, though, especially white people. Just be real, they just are.
I mean, I definitely think there is like always those undertones, but again, to me, I don't care who showed up at that house. You have no ID. Like I already think like there's weird stuff going on because they had like that ship. Like you ain't coming in. Like you can't prove this is your house. So sleep in your car. I don't know what to tell you, but you're not coming up in here.
I will say if he showed up in a suit, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. My man was fresh. And he wasn't just in a regular suit. He was in some custom fit, like fresh shit. So I'll be like, yeah, I gotta give him the benefit of the doubt.
I'm with Amazing. I'll be like, look, player, unless I got like give me your ID card with the residence on there or something.
He
like,
didn't
well,
have the ID.
because
That's what threw me
can I
off.
challenge you two real quick? One more time. I'm gonna
The
challenge you one more time.
key. I know you're going to mention the key, right?
Exactly. How he get the key to open that drawer with the gun?
There was a
and
rock.
the money in there.
You know those little toy
but
rocks
you know what?
that's
But that makes it
outside.
even more suspicious, though. That makes it even more suspicious. Because think about it.
For them to get in there, right?
I mean, true, but you know what? Think about this. When you think about the key part, that made it even more suspicious because if you had the keys, right?
Right.
On one hand, yes, you played it smart.
Right.
You knock on the door. You didn't enter in, even though it is your house.
Exactly.
It don't really matter.
Right.
It's your house, right?
Mm-hmm.
From their perspective.
Right.
But when you enter in and you're like, let me make this right. Let me go get the money and at least pay you half back, whatever, all that. The first part is you're trying to open the damn drawer, you can't even open it. The second one, okay, now you open it, but it's like on one hand, I know that it's a selling point, right? It's like, oh, okay, it gives you curiosity, but at the end of the day, you still open it. Right. But the major part that would have actually helped out, even though he didn't have his ID or anything else, if he at least had some paper documents or something, because you would think if this your house, you would have something around here to prove something at least, if anything were to happen for any amount of reasons. There would be some type of copies, something else.
What did he say he did?
No, that's a good point, Wally, because you're right. It's like, man, my office is up there. I got like the deeds, all this stuff. My social, something's up there. Like my passport.
It is his little side house and not his main house. So
yeah.
I get why he wouldn't have it all that either.
Do you remember?
So I understand that.
Do y'all remember?
No, that's a good point.
Remember when she said, "Where's the photos?" Like, into all the home photos and all that. Do you remember? Did he ever mention what he did with the pictures?
I mean, for Airbnb, you don't typically have photos up there.
No, you're not gonna have them up. Did he put them in storage, like they're in the basement or something, in the closet? Like, where did he put?
Yeah, because when you think about it, because think about those records now. There's a lot of records that he kept.
That's what I'm saying. He had a lot of records.
No, exactly. Did he mention where the photos were, or she never asked him about it?
I don't think they never asked. Because it does make sense. You're not gonna have a bunch of pictures up in an Airbnb and stuff.
No.
Well, and that's why
but it could have been scrapped.
The ones we've been to, I mean, there's definitely not pictures of anybody up, but they're normally, I'm pretty sure each place has like a closet that's locked, which I'm assuming is like the owner's some sort of personal stuff. So I did think like but again, it makes you wonder, like, okay, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is this a setup? Is it not? Because on one hand, he does have the keys. But then, like Wally had mentioned, then he's trying to figure out what to open. And it's like, oh, I should have listened to my wife and labeled these drawers. So then it makes you think, wait a minute, so it just is like, it really does go back and forth. But I don't, if I was at that house again, I don't even know if you would have gotten to that drawer before I was like, what are you doing?
Well,
he would have came in through the back door too, because he had a set a whole ring full of keys.
Remember, the only smart play that was in that was the fact that when he opened that drawer, there was some money there. That was a smart play for them.
Yeah. That's when I was like, okay.
If there was nothing there,
and a gun,
and then plus then the gun part, if they saw the gun, that would have been messed up though.
I like how they didn't show him with the gun. Like he
would have been messy.
And how did he know that money was in that drawer? He didn't know that money was. I mean, they didn't know that he knew that money was in that drawer. It's his house. It's his house. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, at that point. But I'm just saying, like, looking from the outside, shit. You show up at a door, sleep in your car until you give me some some notifications. I'm not bringing you in. Damn that.
And I would have came in when you went to sleep. I would have came in through that back door with them keys.
Yeah.
The other thing is like they were all keeping, because they were all suspicious of each other. So they're all keeping their own little secrets of things they saw or things they knew, where had everybody just been open in the first place. I mean, obviously we don't want that. It's a movie, so it would have wrecked the movie. Yeah. But had everybody been open in the first place, they probably would have realized something is seriously wrong here much sooner than, going through everything they did.
Yeah, no, I agree.
They all didn't mention something. Let me see. Clay didn't mention the Mexican woman on the side of the road that he abandoned. Right,
rightfully so. Rightfully so. Don't throw a homie. She would have got left for me too.
And there was George. He didn't mention the plane crash on the beach. I guess he didn't
they did leave a lot of stuff out.
Yeah,
he didn't even mention the plane crash that was on the beach.
Yeah, and Archie didn't mention he masturbating in Ruth's bed.
He sure didn't. He didn't bring that,
that
up.
would be that would be horrible. If that was really if that was really the bed.
Yeah, I think that was her.
Yeah.
bed. I think that was her
Really
room,
was
wasn't
the
it? I think that was her
And
bedroom
the worst,
too.
and the worst was Rosie. She mentioned that she found a whole bunker with water, food, and all
And
types
food.
of other
Oh,
supplies
she
and
was in the
radio
kitchen.
networks.
She was in the kitchen
And she
fucking
was
that
chilling.
food up.
Yeah,
Well, they had
she
candy
ain't
and
got a
stuff,
whole-
right?
Yeah, she was eating everything in the
She was
kitchen.
eating
yo.
everything, but like she
Yeah,
didn't have a whole family.
But she was sort of paranoid. So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, first instance, like, what you really think about? Like, are you gonna just look at this food and start eating something, or are you just gonna be like, okay, I see it. Let me go back and go get everybody else and bring them. No,
You're gonna eat, but you're gonna eat and then go get the rest of the people. You're not gonna eat and make some popcorn and sit down and watch a movie and be like,
true.
nah.
But you gotta think about it. How they were playing her, they weren't listening to her no way.
Exactly.
Yep.
I'm like,
But still, man, like in a weird house like that, yeah, I'm getting the
By
food,
yourself?
I'm jetting, then I'll get comfortable. I'm like, look, they got friends, y'all, let's go watch
You
this.
gotta think,
But the
this is
DVD
a
player and
child
the
at the
TV
end
was
of the day.
downstairs. She was like, I'm
Kids are
watching
scared.
Friends.
Kids are scared of damn near anything. So it's just like she's gonna go into a vacant house by herself and find food. Yeah, she's gonna find it, but I don't think she's gonna get comfortable enough to sit down and watch a whole movie.
So they had wall-to-wall canned goods down in that basement too. In that closet,
And
all
water.
kinds of canned, huh?
Lots and lots of water.
Canned goods.
I mean, I don't think that house, like, it's not. We're not talking about a scary house here. This is like
everyday house.
$1 million home
for a
That
kid
house
by
is
yourself
scary.
going into that house.
It looked like
That's a big house.
Yeah, all that other stuff she already done seen, the herds of deer, all this other, the flamingos. That house is nothing.
Which should
That's
put
like,
her should put her on even higher alert.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Brother losing his teeth, like he done hit some krills out here.
He was man, he was useless, man. Like he really was, man. Like all he wanted to do was just masturbate and eat food and just lay around.
Yeah, he was pretty pointless in this movie.
He really
He's definitely,
was.
like Fred said, part 2, he needs to die like in the credits.
Rosie was more.
He played the part of a teenage boy.
Rosie was more useful than he was, though. I'd rather have
she
Rosie
was.
looking at watching my back and help me with shit than his ass.
Yeah, but I think one key part though that did sold it eventually that it was his place though. It was when that they got to the records. I think that was the key part. That
Oh yeah, he was grooving then.
Definitely that was definitely his house.
He was spitting that game then. He was about one more slow song from
dude. He was about to be balls deep in her ass, yo. Balls deep. That would have been me. I would have been balls deep in man. Right.
Oh man.
With next playing in the background. All right.
Right. But I think another key part that I just remember this right now, but another key part for me that just sort of fell off in the movie was the Latin woman. Like you seen the man driving down, and it's like, okay, if he's driving back this way, wouldn't you not follow the same path? So why? So like, where did she end up?
That's a long run, bro. That's a long run.
It may be a long run, but hey, if he's going that way, you may as well think the same way. Like, there's a reason going back down the way. Let me follow him. It may be long, but I'm going there.
That would have been dope. That would have been dope if she would have found a way to get down that road to like where he was going. That would have been dope. She made it back to that house and was like, motherfucker, you left me on the side of the road in Spanish.
She spoke perfect English. She spoke perfect English.
Someone could have spoken Spanish. Someone could have probably spoken Spanish.
That would have been dope. I like that.
Yeah, and then like
that would have.
He comes back and it's just her and GH talking in Spanish, or her and Ruth talking in Spanish, just having an awkward conversation, looking at him like, yeah, it was still right there.
Coward.
We need to just write a script, yo. We need to get together and write a script.
No, that's what I told you, man.
We can write a script, yo. We can write one. I'm telling you.
But let's go ahead. We'll start closing this down. Definitely a great, I'll say, review and breakdown of this. But we'll go around real quick. CLS, let us know where we can find you out. Any parting words or anything?
No parting words. Just watch the film when you get a chance, and go on the internet and talk shit about it like we just did. Yeah. Watch it, enjoy, talk about it. You can find me YouTube, TikTok, IG. This is CLS.
All right, Man and Genius.
You can find me on IG or the Manic Sophistication channel here at the Manic Genius. Great conversation. Appreciate you popping up, Wally. Looking forward to seeing you.
Come back, Wally. You can come back anytime.
Sure,
man.
for sure. This was fun. This was fun.
Yeah.
All right, amazing.
That's it for me.
I really like Netflix. All the Netflix movies I think normally are solid. I do like Netflix films in general, so I always recommend those. I think this is great. And I'm telling you, it's the cyber attack and the viruses. That is what will get us.
Boo.
Hey, I'll say this.
I'm telling you,
that movie right there made me truly believe this is why I'll never drive an electric car. That stranded.
You know what?
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
Yeah.
Not me.
You
Nope.
know, just because you said that, when people first started really getting Teslas and I would see them filling up at the parking lots, that was always something I would say is that would make me super nervous to be in a car that can lock me in, but really control everything. So,
yeah, definitely.
And all the problems now, even with the cold weather, you see the Teslas all over the news. Those poor people stranded all over the place.
Yeah, good point. Didn't you just see him on the news recently? Them frozen Teslas because they couldn't charge them up.
But all right, let me go ahead and get Frederick. Parting words, Frederick.
I just saw it.
All right, Casey.
I literally enjoyed the movie. I will say that during this movie, I got Die Hard vibes, iRobot, and Total Recall. I definitely felt a lot of all of that in this movie. I just wish it would have had a strong finish, and because of that, that's where my miniseries vibes came through. But other than that, I think everyone should go out and definitely watch this movie. It's definitely worth it, and especially since it's on Netflix and it's not like you got to go out and pay ticket money to go see it. So definitely. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and IG, and it's good to be with all of you guys.
Fred, I heard you on Craigslist now. No,
no, baby, but I'm in the playoffs. Chiefs, baby.
All right, Wally, my man, Wally, man. Parting words. Where can we find you at?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for the invite. This was very much loving experience. My parting words for this was definitely a solid movie. It really kept me up pace for sure with it. I loved every ounce of every moment of the thrills that it brought me. I do agree with Fred. This definitely was a mini series because it made because every single time it showed you different parts, like what was gonna go down, like the flood or the sirens. It really did give you that vibe. Like there was sceneries to this for sure. So it definitely could have been a mini series, and they definitely could have continued this. One key part when I was bringing back the whole thing about the electrical cars. Just imagine if this was LA, right? When they said that they were not doing no more gas and they were only doing electric.
Man.
Yeah. I would have been screwed over there.
Oh yeah, and stay off the
This
street.
would have been a whole different movie. Oh man, it would have been a whole different movie. But nonetheless, this is for sure a solid one. Okay. You can find me on IG, YouTube, Wallyverse.
All right. Now, just to recap everything y'all said, definitely a great movie. And like I said, Wally, you're welcome anytime. I think I send you the reviews for the listing for the month. But anybody else, if y'all have any movies y'all want to review, because I want to start like looking at Hulu and Amazon Prime. So y'all search out, send me the invites, and we'll go ahead and put those on the schedule and stuff. So
your Stars got some good movies too.
Yeah. Anywhere we could locate those, let me know, and I'll put those on the listing, and we could rearrange anything, so it don't have to always be stagnant. I just try to do that just in case, but let me know which I want to break down. But all right, keep tuning in, and we'll keep breaking down and rating these movies. All right, peace.